Hi everybody, I'm here today at the 238th anniversary of the battle at the house on the Horseshoe, and you can see the house behind me here. I talked about this location a little bit in my earlier video about Kenneth Black, about the Kenneth Black Cemetery. Now if you haven't seen that video yet, I'll give you a little bit of a recap. Mr. Black was basically the impetus for the battle that began here during the Revolutionary War. He was, as far as we know, neutral party during the Revolutionary War, but he did have some loyalist friends, namely one Colonel David Fanning. Now, he had recently in 1781 helped Mr. Fanning, Colonel Fanning, with a lame horse, and shortly thereafter was accosted near his home down in Southern Pines, which is about 25 miles south of here. Accosted by the Patriot militia of a Colonel Alston, and subsequently killed. Maybe it was because he had helped Colonel Fanning, maybe it was because they mistook him for Colonel Fanning, we're not exactly sure, but he was killed. Now when Colonel Fanning found out about this, he pretty much took the battle to Colonel Alston's doorstep. He was not at all happy, clearly. On the morning of July 29th in 1781, he and his troops came to this home here at the house on the Horseshoe, which is Philip Alston's home. And at the time, Colonel Alston was camped here with his troops. His family was in residence. And they attacked the home that morning. Now, it was a short battle, only about 4 hours, but you can still see the bullet holes from the battle here at the house. And there weren't many casualties, thankfully, but like I said, the family was in residence at the time. Mrs. Alston was home with the children, and she did hide the three youngest, supposedly two of them up one of the chimneys, because it was a good shelter from the bullets whizzing through the house, and she and the baby hid under the bed. So she was able to protect them. Now, like I said, this lasted about 4 hours. At about that time, she noticed that the troops outside were about to send a flaming cart at the home to set it afire. So she decided, either she decided or maybe her husband pushed her out the door, we're not quite sure. She went out and negotiated a surrender between the colonels, and her husband was taken into custody. So that's how that battle ended. Now, Colonel Alston did go on to later become a state senator, but he did fall into disrepute later and ended up selling the home in 1790 and leaving the state altogether. Now, the home here was later purchased by Governor Benjamin Williams, in 1798, who really took it over and did quite a lot. He had about 2,500 acres here, and right about that time is when Eli Whitney's cotton gin came in, and that really revolutionized the cotton industry, and so he took advantage of that. He had 42 acres of cotton his first year of attempting it in 1801. The second year he had 200 acres. Of course, that means he had the slaves to go along with that. I think at the height he had over 100 slaves. So that history goes along with this as part of the way it was. It was a cotton plantation at the time. He died here on the location in 1814 and is buried here on the property. I'll show you his grave here. And the house basically went through various hands over the years. Now in 1954, the Moore County Historical Association took it on, purchased it and renovated it, and gave it over to the state for management in 1955, and it's remained with the state ever since. So it is one of the state's state historic sites on the list, which nchistoricsite.org. Check it out. There's some wonderful sites on there. I've been working my way through them very, very slowly but surely. There's some great things on there. So as always, get out and explore your state. It's amazing, beautiful. It's a gorgeous day. So I hope you all are having a great week. Thanks. The battle for the house on the Horseshoe is reenacted every year the first weekend in August. There are a lot of vendors and demonstrators and tours, so make sure to come and check it out.